Hi, hello, good morning, wherever you're watching me from. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Lydia, and today I'm going to tackle one topic. That recently left a bad taste in my mouth. I want to talk about interviews and presentability. So, as a prospective employee, as a job hunter, how do you present yourself for the interviews? What are the do's? What can't you do? That is what I want to look at today. I'm looking at a scenario whereby you've received an invite to the interview, most probably through mail, and maybe a follow up phone call. So you're supposed to present yourself to a certain company for a certain position. The first thing I would like to tackle is punctuality. It's very, very, very important to be punctual for your interview. If you're going for an interview and your interview is supposed to begin at 9 a.m., please ensure no matter what, you're there at least by 8:30 or 8:45 if it's so late. Punctuality leaves an impression on your interview. It means you're taking this opportunity seriously. You get it? It means you're serious about being considered for this position. That is one. So I'm looking at how punctual can you be for your said interview. Second thing I'm looking about in your time management is your time management. If you were to be given this position, what are we to expect from you? I'm looking at it and I'm making an assumption that probably your job, your timelines, you'll always be able to keep your timelines. When it comes to your assignment, you'll always be punctual for your work. And then another thing, when you're punctual and you leave your home early, you, especially if you don't know where you're going well, and mostly this happens to the interviews you're going to, you have ample time to figure out exactly where you're supposed to be going, and you have enough time so you're not rushing. You're able to reach there way before you need to have to. And then especially if you have to go up a flight of stairs or uphill and you're physically unfit, by the time you reach for your interview, you're panting. This actually gives you time to calm down, to compose yourself, so that by the time you're called in for your interview, you're calm and composed. So punctuality actually works in your favor in a lot of ways. When you're late for your interview, it leaves a lot to be desired. For example, your interview was supposed to start at 9 and you come in at around 9:15, 9:30. Already you've lost some of the points for that interview. And most probably that person is not going to give you that job, even if you're the best candidate for the job. Sometimes you can call ahead and tell them you're running late, but whichever, it still leaves a funny taste in the mouth. So just try as much as possible to be there in time. You might say probably where you're staying there was traffic jam. And another thing I'll tell you is, for example, someone staying on Mombasa Road. You already know categorically there's a high likelihood that you're going to experience traffic jam. So if your interview is at 9, why not leave at 6:30? Or even at 6 in the morning. Sometimes you even need to leave at 5:30, depending on which part of Mombasa Road you're actually staying at. So leave early. Ensure you're there early. No excuses. No, because everything else you're going to sound most probably is going to sound like an excuse. So just ensure you're there in time so that you don't have to explain yourself whatsoever. The second thing I'm going to look at is appearance. it really, really, really matters how you present yourself for the interview. Because remember, the moment you walk in, at that point that you're entering that door, that is exactly where your interview has begun from. So, did you iron your clothes? Were they well ironed? Secondly, did you put thought into your dressing? I usually prefer when someone is going for an interview to go for neutral colors. That is just me. But then again, neutral colors are best suited for interviews. If you're a lady, what is the length of your skirt or your dress? Very important. I was once in an interview where I was interviewing someone whose skirt was like above her thighs, and she's come for an interview. In my head, I'm wondering, what was she thinking? So be presentable, be formal. It's better to be formal, mostly, yeah. I'll prefer that someone who'll actually put on a nice shirt and a nice trouser or nice skirt or even a suit or a nice dress, yeah. So invest in it. And then your hair, is it kept? Is it well kept? A lady, when was the last time you were at the salon? You can come for the interview and your hair is all over the place. Given probably because you're looking for a job, you don't have the money, but just a little effort goes a long way. And then for the ladies, those of us who love makeup, ensure your makeup is on point. Very important. It's very important to have your makeup on point. Go minimal. Don't overdo it. Yeah? You're going for an interview and your lips are the darkest shade of purple or the brightest shade of red. You have your eyeshadows on and it looks like a rainbow and you're looking beautiful. But then again, maybe if you're going to the creative industries, maybe it's acceptable. I don't know. I've not worked with any creative industries. But when you're coming to the other side of the work area, like the more formal setups, I'm looking at that rainbow and I'm wondering, what were you thinking? So be minimal on your makeup. Your nails, yeah? Don't go for those extremely long nails with shouting colors. It's better to stick to well-kept nails and neutral colors, yeah? Neutral colors, they're more classic actually. So stick to the neutrals and ensure your nails are a good length. The ladies who love their nails extremely long, given, I'm not judging you, that is your personal choice. But when you're going for an interview, can you keep them to a good normal length? Can you stick to more neutral colors on your nails? Don't go for the rainbows too. Even the earrings you're going to put on. Yeah, you should put a lot of thought into how you dress, how you present yourself. Very important. Very, very important. Even if you don't have money, invest in that one nice dress that you're going to use for your interviews. Your shoes, also important. Baby girl, leave I don't know, is it the 5 inches of whatever, for whatever it is you're going. This is an interview. Keep your heels to a good length. 2 inches, 3 inches maybe, I don't know. But don't go for the extreme. Yeah? Don't go for the extreme. It's not a good picture. And then prepare and prepare yourself for the interview. Never think that you know everything. You have your interview scheduled for next week. You've been informed. Make Google your best friend. Can you research about that company? Can you know? This is the company that is going to interview. What do they do? Yeah? What do they actually do? What do you know about them? Because trust me, if I ask you that question and you do not have an answer for me, how can you come to work for a company that you do not know what they do? So research. There is a lot of information in the web out there. A lot of the companies right now have a website. Make Google your best friend. And then the position you're interviewing for, you might have been doing that job for the last, I don't know how many years. But right now you're back there. You're looking for this job. Go do your research. Probable questions for a job of this position. For example, it's a sales position. What are the probable questions that can be asked to a person interviewing for the sales position? Familiarize yourself with it. Don't cram, just familiarize yourself with it. Familiarize yourself with the answers. Tailor them to your needs. Use your own examples. Yeah, you've been working for a while. The examples that are always coming up. For example, when I was working for company A, B, C, D, this is what happened. This is how I drove sales. And you see, you can actually back your answers with your history, what you've previously done, to actually show that you're the best suited person for this position. So do your research. Sleep, eat, and think about this interview if you really want that job. And then confidence, my dear. Confidence goes a long way. Confidence goes a long way. How confident are you when you're entering that room? Can I easily scare you? Yeah? Just before you enter the room, you're being called, just breathe in. Take a long breath. Take another one. Take as much as you need. Because when you're breathing in and breathing out, you're literally calming yourself down. And believe in yourself. It is the most important thing. Because I usually believe when you want something, it starts from within. Your desire for whatever it is that you want is what is going to push you forward to go get it. I've seen people who lack the right qualification in terms of papers, and yet they get the job and they do it. How much do you believe in yourself and your ability to go out there and do it? Very important. And how do you answer your questions? Be audible. Yeah. Take your time to say whatever it is you're saying. Don't just go there rapping and someone is wondering, okay, what did he say? So be audible. Take your time to actually explain yourself. And another thing is, do not be desperate. Interviewers can smell desperation and they don't like it. Most of the time you'll see like you're too desperate for the job. Too desperate, trying so much to please. Just present why you're good for the job, why the job should be yours. And trust you me, if it was meant for you, you're gonna get it. And have the extras, yeah? It doesn't cost you anything to invest in yourself. If you not go you're not good at public speaking, get a coach, someone to help you prep for interviews. Yeah, to get that confidence up, to be able to help you be able to speak and articulate yourself. Very important. Invest in it. Invest in CV writing if you're a job seeker. Because sometimes I'm looking at a CV and it's not, the person might be very qualified for the job, but the way it's presented, I just switch off. So there are things you need to invest in. Invest in yourself, in your personal growth and development. Whatever your weakness is, try and handle it. Get someone out there to help you manage it. If it's speaking that you cannot do and you cannot articulate yourself well, invest in someone who can guide you through it. Yeah? Another thing that is very important is when the interview is coming to an end, yeah, there's that place where they ask you, do you have any questions for us? If you had researched about this company, if you had researched about this position very well, trust me, you will have a question for them. When I ask you, do you have a question for us? And you tell me, no, I'm good. It points to a lack of preparedness. Yeah. It tells me how much you didn't really take your time. And when you're answering these questions, be very honest. Be very honest. Because most of these things I can easily find out. And especially for most interviewers, they can actually gauge when you're being truthful or not, when you're exaggerating, when you're not. So they're wondering, what is it that you're hiding? Maybe something so small, but because you're hiding something, you might just be left out. When you're asked about your weaknesses, be honest. We are all human beings at the end of the day. When you have gaps in your resume, for example, a lot of people lost their jobs during COVID. Be honest. Did you lose your job because of COVID? Did you lose your job because of ABCD? Because remember, at the end of the day, I'm still going to do a background search on you. So you might have been a good candidate for the job, and had you been honest, probably you would have gotten it. But because you're not, and then I go and inquire about your past, I find the skeletons, I become uncomfortable. I'm no longer comfortable to offer you the position. So be as honest as possible. Be honest. And then there is something that is also very important that I keep getting from prospective employees. When you're asked about your previous employer, do not demonize them. Be very diplomatic with your responses about past employers. I left my job because my boss was Z, and then the boss was this, and then no. Be very diplomatic. Don't demonize your former boss. Even if your tenure ended badly, be very diplomatic in your responses. Try to find something positive that you can say about your past work experience. Pivot the skills that you've gained along the way that will benefit this employer or your next employer if this is not the person. Anytime you speak badly about your former employer, trust you me, you're not winning points with your new prospective employer. On the contrary, you're actually losing. So be very careful what you say. But most importantly, when you prepare, you win. When you're ready, they say luck favors the prepared mind. Ensure you're always ready. And I wish you all the best in your next interview. May it be your breakthrough. Bye-bye.